Hi, my name's Shelley. I'm a This Gal Can ambassador for Essex. I'm also a yoga and meditation teacher, and I'm co-director of the Bloom Project, which is a wellbeing company specialising in stress and anxiety management, which is what this session today is about. So in my few years now as a This Gal Can ambassador, one of the things I see quite commonly is anxiety being the reason for people not going into new classes, etc. It can be quite a scary thing to do. I think we've all probably struggled with it at some point in our life, that thought of, going to an interview or going to a new exercise class or anything where it's an unknown that you're walking into. It's a new situation. It can be really anxiety provoking. So hopefully something in today's session will be helpful to you, and it will enable you to start finding ways to get around that anxiety and to manage it. So we're going to talk a little bit about what anxiety and stress actually is and how it kind of manifests in the body. We're going to practice a really nice, simple breathing technique that you can do literally anywhere. It takes less than a minute. And then we're going to have a relaxation at the end that will also incorporate the breathing exercise as well. So I'm hoping that there's something in today's session that's going to be really helpful to you. And if you want to know more, because as I say, this is a bit of a whistle-stop tour, really. If you want to know more, then please feel free to get in touch with us. Our information is kind of on the bottom there, but it's info@bloomproject.co.uk if you want to email us with any questions after. So let's start then with what stress and anxiety actually are. They go all the way back to caveman and cave women times, all those years ago when things that were presented to us, those stresses that were presented to us really were life and death situations. So this response came about in the body as a survival instinct. And where it's held in our brain, that reaction is held in our brain, hasn't changed in all that time. So our body still physically reacts in the same way to stress and anxiety as it did all those years ago. Back in those days, maybe we went down to the well to fetch some water and we was presented with a saber-toothed tiger. It could eat and kill us. And so we're thinking, how do we get away from this? Fight or flight kicks in, which is what most of us know the stress cycle as. And we would either decide to try and fight that saber-toothed tiger or run away as fast as we can, hence fight or flight. So the things that happen within our body is that we get a rush of all these chemicals that are related to the stress. And the point of those chemicals was to prepare our body to run away or to fight. So it would be things you might notice in yourself now are things like becoming sweaty, heart pumping faster, dry mouth, needing a nervous wee, maybe going really, really white, maybe feeling really tense and aching in your muscles. And they're all the same reactions that we would have had all those years ago. They feel less useful to us now, but there is a scientific reason behind them. Fortunately, today I don't have time to go into it all, but it can be really empowering to really understand what stress and anxiety do inside the body. The takeaway for today, I think, is helping you understand and recognize those really early signs, because the physical signs always happen first. We just don't necessarily recognize it. So for me, for instance, public speaking is always a bit of an anxiety thing for me, which is strange because I do it a lot. And I will always get a really dry mouth, always, without fail. And I know that that's my anxiety kicking in. I just make sure that I have a nice big litre bottle with me at least, and that will probably disappear within about half an hour because, if I need to keep on talking, I need to keep my mouth well and truly lubricated. But I know that's my early warning sign. So I can put things in place then to interrupt the cycle. And that's what I'm hoping that today will give you. So as I say, your first step is understanding what your physical reaction to stress is. Once you've understood that, you can keep an eye out for it, and then you can start putting things in place and interrupting that cycle. So the strategy I'm going to give you today is belly breathing, and we can go through that in a second. And the reason this works is because it helps activate our rest and digest system. So rest and digest and fight and flight cannot operate at the same time. So if we're activating and encouraging our rest and digest, our fight and flight is going to naturally decrease and hopefully come down to a level where it means, we feel life is manageable and we feel like we're in control. So this belly breathing helps activate our vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs from our gut all the way up to our brain, is responsible for spreading out and helping with lots of organs and lots of bodily functions, which is kind of why you can understand then why things like your sleep pattern gets disrupted, your eating style gets disrupted. Maybe you eat lots, maybe you don't eat at all. You get forgetful and all those things. This all comes as part of our stress cycle, but they're all further down the list than the physical symptoms that we see. So keeping an eye out for those physical symptoms, which I'll run through again quickly. This is not an exhaustive list, by the way. So heart pumping faster, going pale, so all this colour draining from your skin, dry mouth or needing a nervous wee, that's another one. Becoming really single vision, really single track focused. So these are kind of, there are more as well, but I'm not going to swamp you with too much information. It's just a brief overview. So we're going to move into our belly breathing exercise, or diaphragmatic breathing. Different people call it different things. The key with any of these exercises is practice, practice, practice. And I cannot emphasize that enough. It is the most important part of it, is practice, practice, practice. This belly breathing takes less than a minute to do it. Everyone can find a minute in their day, even if it's while you're sitting on the loo, driving your car, watching EastEnders, whatever it is you do. The more you practice it, the more effective it will get. If you think back to things like when you was a toddler and you were learning to walk, you practiced. How often do you now have to think about the action of walking? You don't. Your body knows how to do it. You can just go. Same with things like learning to swim, driving a car, reading and writing. All these things are now automatic responses for us because we practice, 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 and our brain has these pathways that have been built from all that practice that say, when this happens, this is what I do. And that's what we want to create by keep on practice, practice, practice with these strategies as well. So as I say, if there's a take home for you today, it's don't give up, keep on practicing with these things. The more you practice, the more effective they will be in the long run. Don't expect miracles straight away, because that won't happen. It takes a period of time, but it will happen. So let's come to our first strategy then, to our belly breathing. I'm going to ask you to find somewhere comfortable to sit. If you want to pause this for a moment, then please pause it now and we will join you again in a moment when you're comfortable. So I'm going to assume that you are seated in your comfortable spot now. We'll bring the spine straight, but not rigid. So all our vertebrae are kind of nicely stacked one on top of the other. You can keep your eyes open or closed, that's up to you, but maybe keep them open to start with just so you can see the instruction. So sitting up nice and tall, we'll let go of the shoulders if you can. You'll bring one hand to your chest and the other hand to your stomach. So just sitting with your natural breath to start with. Just breathing normally. And just noticing which hand moves most with the breath. So for most adults, they'll find it's this hand, the one on their chest, that's moving. But maybe, I think especially with people who do things like singing, yoga, you might find that your hand on your belly is moving more. And the reason for this is as we get older, we become lazy breathers. We tend to take quite shallow breaths. So most of our breath, it gets to our chest and then it leaves again. It comes to our chest and it leaves again. If you ever watched a baby breathing when they're asleep, you'll see their belly really expand and contract and expand and contract. And that's because they're really good at activating that rest and digest system. I spend a lot of time asleep, so that's what we want to try and do today. So we're going to get really into that belly breath. So with your next breath in, you're going to take a deep, full breath in and really expand the belly. So really breathing down, all the way down, belly expanding into that breath. And then as you breathe out, we're going to contract the belly, pulling the belly button all the way through to the spine as far as you can. Good, and then we'll breathe in again. Breathing in, expanding the belly. Breathing out, pulling the belly button through towards the spine. And again, breathing in, expanding that belly. And as you breathe out, pulling that belly button through to the spine. And take 2 more of these deep belly breaths. Breathing in, expanding the belly. Breathing out, belly button through to spine. And again, one more time. Breathing in, expanding the belly. And breathing out, contracting the belly through to the spine. Well done. Okay, just let the breath return to its natural state again. Maybe bring your hands back down to your knees if you prefer now. So you may have found that you let out a little yawn there, which is perfectly natural. In fact, it's a really good sign because that means you're activating your rest and digest system. If you didn't yawn, not to worry. It's just practice, that's all. As I say, this is such a simple exercise and such an effective exercise. We've taught it to people of all ages, from little ones up to big boss managers working in their offices. And it's just, you know, because it's such a simple one, and because you can take time out quite easily to just, 30 seconds of belly breathing, it's just a really effective one to have in your toolkit. So I'm hoping that's useful to you. It'd be really interesting to hear if anyone found themselves yawning, or what you think about it. But as I say, practice, practice, practice. Make it part of your daily routine. Maybe, when you get up, you have your morning cup of tea and you do 30 seconds of belly breathing while the kettle's boiling. Find a time in the day that is feasible for you, and maybe even write yourself a little post-it note, stick it on your kettle so it reminds you to do it every day. Okay, so we're going to move into our relaxation now, our meditation. You can do this sitting or laying, entirely up to you, whatever you prefer. So maybe if you want, pause the video again now briefly, just while you get yourselves comfortable. I'm going to suggest that you maybe have a blanket or a nice warm cozy jumper or something on. The body cools down quickly when we're still, and we want you to be able to be as comfortable as possible for the next 10 minutes. So using any cushions that you need to feel supported, maybe behind your knees if you're laying down, or behind your head if you're sitting up or laying down. Loosening your clothing so it doesn't feel restrictive. Maybe taking off your glasses so there's no distractions. Popping your phone on silent. And just getting any last fidgets out and settling into a really nice, comfortable, supported position. And if you're happy to do so, just gently closing your eyes now. If you prefer to keep them open, just softening the gaze, fixing the focus on one point. Bringing your attention to your breath. Just the natural breath as it flows in and out of your body. Not trying to change it in any way. Maybe just noticing those small movements the breath creates. Maybe a slight flaring of the nostrils. Slight rise and fall of the chest or the belly. If you find your mind wandering in the silent moments, just know that that's perfectly natural. Mind's a busy place and thinking is what it does. But right now, right here, this is all that's important at the moment. We can come back to those thoughts, those plans or emotions later. This is your time to relax. Anytime you do catch yourself in a thought, just gently making a note to yourself of wandering thought. Releasing that thought as though it was a wisp of cloud in the air, And bringing your attention back to your breath, back to my voice. And take a deep breath in, deep belly breath, and then let it go, sucking the belly button through to the spine. One more deep belly breath, in and out. And then let the breath settle back to its natural state. And now, if you can, taking your attention, your focus to your eyes. And in your mind's eye, just imagining all those tiny muscles around your eyes, muscles that help you focus, help you move your eyes. And just noticing those muscles. And we take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, allow those muscles to let go and relax. We don't need to use our eyes right now. So just let them relax. And maybe as your eyes start to relax, you feel that relaxation spreading upwards over your forehead. And all those muscles smoothing out. And maybe down your nose and across your cheeks. As you feel all those muscles let go and relax as well. And next we'll take the attention to the mouth. And just noticing where your tongue sits in your mouth right now. And knowing that we don't need to use the tongue right now. We're not talking. As we take a deep breath in and allowing the tongue to relax on the breath out. And as the tongue relaxes, maybe the muscles around the mouth and the jaw do too. Maybe the teeth part slightly as the jaw relaxes. As that relaxation spreads further down the neck, we'll take our attention to our shoulders. We hold a lot of tension around our shoulders and our neck. So just noticing now any sensations in those areas. And as we breathe in, focusing on the neck and shoulders. As we breathe out, letting them go, letting them relax. We'll check in again with the eyes, just noticing if any tension has crept in there. And if it has, with your next exhale, allow that tension to go. We'll check in again with the tongue and the mouth. Just noticing if tension has crept in there. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, allow the tongue, the mouth and jaw to relax. And check back in with the shoulders and neck. Just noticing if any tension has reappeared. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, letting go of those muscles and allowing them to relax. And now gently scanning the rest of your body from your shoulders down. Just noticing any areas of discomfort or tension. And if you notice any, with the in-breath guiding the relaxing breath to that area. And as you breathe out, letting go of any tension. Breathing in relaxation and breathing out tension. Breathing in relaxation. Breathing out tension. And take a moment just to check back in. Check in with the eyes. And as you exhale, let them relax. Check in with the mouth. And as you exhale, allow the tongue, jaw, lips, allow it all to relax. Check in with the shoulders and the neck. And as you exhale, just let go of any tension that still sits there. Allowing the whole body to relax. Feeling relaxed, calm, and peaceful. And take a note of this relaxed feeling and know that you can return here anytime just by focusing on those 3 points: the eyes, the mouth, and the shoulders, and just letting go of the muscles in those areas. Just enjoying this feeling of relaxation for a moment longer before we return to the day. And taking this feeling of calm and peacefulness with you as we begin to prepare to return to our day. And bringing your attention back to the sounds in your room, just noticing them. Just noticing where your body meets the surface beneath it, all those points of contact. Maybe bringing a wiggle into your fingers and toes, or stretching your arms and legs. And bring the palms together, rubbing them together, keeping your eyes closed still. Just creating some warmth in your hands. We'll bring the palms over the eyes. Take a breath in. Maybe sigh it out. Blink the eyes open behind the hands. And then we'll bring the hands away from the face. I hope you're feeling nice and relaxed after that. As I say, this was just a real whistle-stop tour of stress and anxiety management. If you'd like to learn more, please get in touch with us. You can contact me or my colleague Anna at info@bloomproject.co.uk, or you can find us on Facebook at Let's Bloom Project. We've got lots of free resources on our Facebook page, so please feel free to have a look and see if there's anything there that's useful. There's lots more anxiety relieving strategies on there, so you might find one that works well for you. But I hope this has been really helpful to you, and I hope to see some of you soon or in the near future, hopefully, at another event or whatever happens next, who knows. But take care of yourselves, and thank you for watching.